Alright, so now we're back with episode 8 of Let's Create a Custom Story, and now I've done a little bit more setup in this level. As you can see, I've added some of the things that are going to be there, and let's see now. So if I have to start the game, I could just show you how it looks in the game. It's not too much different, but I've added all the pieces that need to be there. So in this episode, I think we could try and at least attempt to create all this to make the whole puzzle work properly. Because right now this is going to be the starting entrance where there's like a ladder or something, some kind of stairs, or perhaps, yeah, stairs. Maybe that could work, I don't know. And then we're going to have this room. These are going to be blocked off as well because we are currently in the middle there. It opens, it can open in all directions, but it won't be opened unless there's a piece there. So there will be this piece. I don't know if it's going to be in this room or some other room. But this one right here, you're gonna have to put there, or you could actually put it there. And placing it in there will unlock that door, which will give you an entrance to this room, which will make these also closed. But yeah, so basically you get this piece and this piece. If you were to, for example, place that... Oh, wait. Does this... Oh, I thought it fell in through the other... No, they do collide with each other, okay. If this one is placed there, it will not do anything because this piece right here does not have an entrance there, so therefore it won't be opening. But if this one is placed there, it won't do it either because it collides. It conflicts, so it needs to actually fit. So that one can be placed there, which will open the door ahead. I haven't done anything with that, and these are going to be, of course, easily attached. I might have to do some indications as to where these pieces are found, because there's not a piece in every room. There's a piece there, up there, there, and there, I think, yeah. That would make for 8. The piece up there is not needed. I might make more of these, like have like 2 or 3 pieces that aren't needed, but that might possibly be used, or just confuse you a bit, or perhaps help you if you're struggling a bit. But they're not required. That piece up there is not required. So if we go around and just pick them up, I could click for that. But one thing that is actually very annoying is that the billboard on top of these is not affected by light. So if it's dark, they will kind of glow, which is kind of strange. And if it's bright, they feel like they are a lot darker, as you can see. Right now they are a lot darker than the piece around them, but if you take them out in this room, they are a lot brighter. So it's very strange. I don't know if I can do anything about that because they're billboards. They're not really affected by light, and I don't want to make an individual model for each of them. So, but that might not be such a big deal if I just light up the rooms properly, like I did here, or like something like this. Then it won't really be noticeable. But I kind of don't want to light up everything, so. And I was thinking maybe we should have a monster walk around in these corridors somewhere. I don't know. Maybe that could be a little suspense creating. So we're gonna need that piece down there, and this piece. Wait, where did I get this? This is one like that. Yeah. So this one. Yeah, that one's eventually going to be placed there. All right. About that, and then we have this one, which is going to be there, and this one, which is going to be there, etc. And then we have one piece that is multi, which is found up in the corner there, which is going to be up and down, which leads up to that piece, which is a trigger that also, and it also enables you to go down and over here and through the door that is going to be there. So right now all of these are just empty. There's nothing really special about them. I just set up the basic things that I need, and I made some of these static because I don't know if that one's static. Is that one static? Yeah, it is static because you're never actually going to be able to open the door that is going south from this room because that one is stuck in there. I made some of these static because you're not able to move them, because of course you're not able to move the room you're currently in, and these are going to be entrances and exits. So there's a block down there. So, but I might have to do some indication to make sure that the player knows that they're static, because right now they are identical to the ones that you can move, so they might be a little strange. Maybe we should make them like a little darker or just something to make the player know that they are supposed to be stuck there. But yeah, that's pretty much about it from in the level. So if we are to actually script this up, it's gonna take a while, probably. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I just have a kind of an idea, but I haven't thought it out, so I don't know if this idea is going to work. So that's gonna be the problem. If it doesn't, then I might just get stuck and not know exactly what I should do to fix it. I'll have to come up with an idea to I'll have to make a lot of variables to determine what paths are open and supposed to be open. Alright, so about 2.5 weeks later, I'm finally done. That took way longer than I thought it would, and it was really difficult. I posted several threads on the forums, and I developed this for a long time, and this might say a lot about me, but this is probably the most advanced script I've ever made. So this is the complete thing, and it's just about 160 lines, and but that includes the comments. So basically, it is all working now. So I can show you how the game looks now. I kind of did some changes to how it was originally, so it's a little different. But it's, let's see. I changed the doors just because these are easier to test with, because they are already one entity, so... and now, as you can see, we have the piece, and it looks just like before, but whenever I place a piece down, for example there, it opens that door perfectly. And then I can go and grab that piece and put it anywhere else, for example there, and it will open that door. Let's see. There. It opens that door, and if we grab this piece and place it at the top, like that, it'll open that door, and let's see, I can put this one. If I put that one there, for example, it will open that door in front of there. So it's like, as far as I know, this is flawless. I don't think there's any bugs in it. Well, I guess anyone could say they think that. There's probably a way to bug it up, but I don't think there is, and if so, I'm gonna be sure to fix that before the actual release within some beta testing stage. But right now, I think this might just be the most effective way, at least I could have ever written this code, and I'm very proud of what I managed to do, because it's quite long. Well, it's not long. That's the thing. I could have made it like 10 times longer and easier to understand, but that would not be flexible at all, and probably be more buggy, because that would be specific for each piece to each area, and that would just be dumb. So basically, let's see, how do I even explain this? I've already made threads on the forums that I actually explained the situation, because I needed help with a few things, like a few bugs, and people actually helped me out there, and that's nice. Several times I got a few things fixed on there, so if you have a problem, I do recommend going there. I myself lurk around, so I might even help you. But basically, what happens in the very beginning is that it creates all these booleans, or not booleans, it creates these integers, like ints, and set local var int. It's within this for loop, which is like followed by another for loop, which means two for loops. Basically, it's just A and B, which symbolize X and Y. I don't know, how do I start explaining this? Let's open up the level just so I can show you what has actually happened since last time, or since I started recording this video a long time ago. The doors are all here. Some are of course not there, like the room in the bottom is not even there because it doesn't need to be. All these areas, the area at the very top is called x1, y1. That's the coordinate of that room. And because of that, since that area up in the corner is called x1, y1, that means that the door in this room, this one, is called move, just because it's a move object, underscore x1, y1, underscore x2, y1. And this one is underscore x1, y1, underscore x1, y2. And which basically means that the system for the doors, because since they are in between each of these grid spaces, because I can't exactly make a single variable or single... Well, what I decided to do was that to determine what the door is, I take the first room underscore the second room. So the first room is, of course, x1, y1, x-axis, y-axis, the first one in both of them, x1, y1. The second room is x2, y1, because this is the y1 row, and this is the y2 row, and this is the x1 row, and this is the x2 row. So it's basically, it's a coordinate system. It's pretty easy to understand. And the naming of the doors in between contains the first room and the second room. And the first room is always the one on the west side or the north side. So it's basically, it's as if you're reading it. The way you normally read it here, at least in the West, you read things from top left and to the right, and then you go down a line, and then you read onwards. So it's like you read like that, basically. That's how you read a page, and that's kind of what I did here as well. So this one is named x1, y1 because that's the room there. So if you go to the room, for example, this door, it's gonna take this room first and then this room as second, because I just decided as long as they are consistent, as long as the system is consistent, it's a lot easier to work with. So, and yeah, so that's the naming of the areas, and that's the naming of the doors. But what about the pieces? If I open the model editor, I can open up the pieces itself. Here are all the different entities that I created for them, which they basically include, like, let me just open up the straight horizontal one. It looks like this. It's the model itself, which does not include the billboard, this one, because that's just an overlay to make so that I can use the same model with many different paths or billboards on top of it as a texture. The only problem is that the billboard isn't affected by light, so... But anyway, that's just the piece and how it looks, and it has a body slightly smaller than the piece itself, because the piece is exactly to the grid in size. So if the body was as well, it would be very difficult to actually place this in the very tight places. Kind of like the situation with the other pieces in the other puzzle I made some time ago, where it was really tight next to each other. So I just decreased the size a little bit, the collision box, so that it's easy to move around. And the name of this body is west underscore east. And this is because this piece allows doors to open in the west and the east direction of where it's placed. And that comes in play in the script. Otherwise, it's just a normal entity that you can grab, which is connected to the area. So they are all in the entity name. This one is just called puzzle slate straight horizontal underscore 1, and then I just copied it without renaming it. So this one all the way up here is called slate straight horizontal underscore 4, because the name doesn't really matter as long as it includes slate, which they all do. And that is because in the area itself, if I put slate attachable body name, slate means that it connects with any entities that have slate in their name. So they all have slates in their name, so they can all connect there. But the body name of each individual entity determines what doors are going to open. So now let's jump over to the script again. The for loop, as I said, the A and B are used for X and Y. I could just use X and Y instead of the A and B, but I just use A and B over here instead. So I just use the same one. Basically, if the for loop wasn't there, it would set 4 variables. But because of the for loop, it sets 100 variables. And that is because the first one runs from 1 to 5, that means 5 times. And the second one runs from 1 to 5, which means 5 times. So both of them run 5 times in total, and that means 5 times 5. And 5 times 5 is 25, and there are 4 within the block, which means 25 by 4 is 100 in total. So basically, what happens, if we look at the level itself, let's just look at all the rooms. What is created here is that in the script it says it creates _W, _N, _E, and _S, which means west, north, east, south. It creates 4 variables for each room, which means 4 up here, 8, 12, 16, and then 20, etc. And then 20 there, 20 there, 20 there, 20 there, 20 there, which means 100. So there's 100 variables, each representing the room with a north, south, west, and east direction. They're all set to 0. And then comes these, which means that they're just setting a few of them, setting 5 of them to 1 because some of these slates are already stuck in the position. So that means that this room's south position, this one's room's south position, and this one's north, east, and west need to already be enabled because the pieces are already there. So basically that makes that happen. And then we come back here. It does another 5 by 5 loop, and then it creates x and y equal x equals a and y equals b. This is just to counter a crash that actually happened because I modify these values, and if I do modify the values within the for loop itself, for example, what I did down here with x plus plus, or plus plus x rather, it could crash up your game because the for loop repeats indefinitely. So it just runs an infinite amount of times before the tick is over of the game, because all of this is ran in a single tick. It doesn't lag for me. I don't think it should lag for anyone really, but all of this that is inside here is ran in a single tick of the game, and if that tick lasts forever, that means the game just freezes, crashes. That's what happens. So this is just to fix that. This is just to pause the current area, as I say here. It creates a string with the A and B, because A and B change from 1 to 5 and 1 to 5. So if you place, for example, and by the way, this script is ran when you place a slate in an area. If you, for example, place this slate in that area right there, that means that this area equals x4, y3. And that it creates a string called x, a, y, b. And that is because the a and b are just variables, so they change to a number depending on how far the for loop has come. So as soon as this string is made the same as what the area is that this slate was placed in, it will pause the loop until this block right here is done. Basically pauses it, but it's still running in the same tick, so it's not really noticeable. So basically, if you place it in x4 y3, that means the first for loop runs up until 4, like it runs through 1 to 5, and when it comes to 4, and when this one comes to 3, that means that this string equals x4 y3. And that's a way to pause it right there. And when you get here, this is the last issue I had to finish off this puzzle. It resets some strings that I used later because they interfered when I used them again. And then we have if string contains. This is basically checking the body name, because as body name, which is up here in the parameter, checks for the body name, and not just the entity name, but the body name, which is this thing under here, which is called west east. It checks for that name. If that name includes west, that means it will set a variable west to true, the current room plus west. And then it will do the same thing for north, east, and south. So basically, if the piece you place there contains these in their body name, then it will open the different doors. So it's not specific to the item itself. It's not specific to the piece. It's just specific to the body of the piece, and each body of a piece is already predefined with the directions it can open. So it does that there. Get down here, and it will set a variable which is the other room, because to open the door since the door have room 1 and room 2, it needs 2 rooms. So this only creates the current room, and this basically creates the other room. If you're going west, you're going to need the room that is to the west in the coordinate system, which is -x in relation to the current room. So therefore there is -x right there. And if you're going to go up a coordinate scale, you need -y to get to that room, and then down would be plus instead. So it does that. And this does the same thing, just to create a string, just a shortcut really down here, so I don't need to write x, x, y, y down here. And it basically checks if the other room is set to true, and if the current room is set to true, then it will open the door between those 2 rooms. And this checks for all the direction, east, north, and south, and west. So that's a pretty, if you consider that a quick rundown of it, that's probably the quickest I can go. And then here is just the function that actually opens the door, set move object state, the door and the state, which is defined in this line here. And then we have the detach, which is when you take the piece away, it will close the door, and it does the exact same script, except over here it closes it instead of opening it with state 0 instead of state 1. It's a little different, but that's pretty much it. And that's why everything is working perfectly fine. As far as I can see, there are no issues whatsoever. And I'm really happy about that. So if let's see, if I place, actually I think we need another piece. Did I not grab that one? No, I didn't. Let's grab that piece. If I take this piece and I place that one there, place that one there, place that one there, and place that one there. Now we can go all the way to the side here and up to x1, y1, which is the room that contains the multi-directional piece. This one right here. And this one is ultimately going to be in the very edge over here. No, not that one, there. But before that, you're going to need to place it there so that you can use one of these to get to the room below, just so you can grab a piece from there. Got it. And we could just put that somewhere like there. And now we can move that one over there. We could take this one over there, and that one over there. There. Take this one up there. Jump that one over there. As you can see, it kind of makes this little path that we want. This makes a little turn, which is going to be down in the corner there. Like that. Opens the 2 doors that are connecting. Grab that one, and this room right here is going to have that trigger. I'm not sure what trigger to use. If it's going to be like it needs to be a timer. That's one thing, because you need to have access to both of the exits to be able to advance. So that you will be able to, if you do it like this, you start in the middle, you can walk out to the side and up there to trigger whatever is in there. I need to figure out what kind of trigger to use there. And then you will have a timer on you, so you cannot go back here to modify the path. You won't have time to do that. You will need to run straight down and then to the side, because the trigger opens the door that is right here, or some kind of barrier or whatever, which enables you to go in there and advance the whole level and finish the puzzle. So, and that is basically it. The puzzle seems to be working perfectly fine, and I see nothing wrong with it, which I'm really happy about that. And it took me way long to do. So, what's next? I don't know. What are we gonna do next? I need to. Well, I haven't added many details to this, of course, like particles, or the leveling is just completely plain because of testing purposes, but I'm gonna add, of course, all the details later when we go to enhancements of the levels. This is just basically the core of the custom story itself, just building what is going to be played. So maybe the next thing I'm gonna do is to create another puzzle or start making the hub level that I was drawing some time ago. I mean, the story is going to be oriented around puzzles, and I don't even need to have a monster. I've been thinking maybe I shouldn't even make this a scary story. Maybe I should just make it a gameplay entertaining story, or like a brain trim thingy. It's like you just fucking, oh sorry, you just like, it's a story that focuses on gameplay and puzzles rather than scares. I can still make nice atmospheres and maybe a few creepy atmospheres, but focusing on scares in this puzzle, in this custom story, I'm not sure if it would fit so well. I'm thinking it would probably be a bit better to just focus on the puzzles themselves to make it fun to play, and not add scares just because it's Amnesia. Because if you force scares in there, they're not going to be that good. They need to kind of have their own build up and everything, and then I would need to incorporate the monsters in the story and everything. So it might be a little difficult to do, and a bit unnecessary perhaps. I think, what was it, that clown story, laugh something, I forgot what it was called, but there was that clown story, or clown circus puzzle story, which it was kind of creepy, yeah, but it wasn't focusing on the scares. I'm not sure if it, well, yeah, it did have monsters in it, if I remember correctly. It did have something, but I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that actually was related to the puzzles, or related to the story at least. But that custom story or mod mainly focused on the puzzles and the custom objects, and it was really cool because they had some pretty good ideas in there, like transparent blocks and mirroring rooms and stuff like that, and it was actually pretty cool. But so I'm thinking maybe this story should just be puzzle driven. Yeah, to just, if you have a set theme, it's going to be a lot better. So not every custom story needs to be scary. I know a few that aren't really scary, but more ridiculous. Let's take, for example, a small horse or something like that. Actually, they could be pretty creepy, I remember. But anyways, so this puzzle is pretty much done. What I'm thinking I could add still is to add those little like symbols or something to indicate that there is a piece still hidden there. So for example, you have all these, let's take out all these, just throw them out. All the doors were closed. Wee. Okay, so we will have like a little light indicator perhaps in the rooms that contain a piece that you can pick up, maybe. Or you could just leave them with nothing, and they would just have to place a piece there and figure out that how this whole puzzle works on their own, which I might do, because this isn't very hard to figure out how it works. It was just really difficult to make. It was just insanely difficult to make, at least for me, but I did manage to do it, so I'm happy. So you would just have this piece, and you would be like, huh, what do I do with this? And then you see similar pieces right there. But should I make these pieces that are stuck a little different? Because, I mean, they are identical to the ones that you can pick up and take away and put back and whatever. But you can't interact with them, which is which might be a little distracting or disorienting. I don't know. Maybe like make them a different color, or make a little something to indicate that it's stuck. I'm not sure what. But anyways, the way I can add a little light, or adding an indicator is to use a light. I could add a little light in the room, and then I could have an interaction callback on these, so that as soon as you pick up the piece that is in the room, that light will turn off, which is a very simple way to do it. I'm thinking, should I place sticky areas on top of these as well? Or maybe just like, because you find the piece in there. That's it. For example, like that. You find the piece there to begin with. Should I make a sticky area so that when you grab it, you take it off? It's a little easier that way, maybe. But if I do, should I make the sticky area? Should I allow you to place them back, or should I just be like, you take it off and then the sticky area is completely gone? Could do that. These are just like smaller, finer details that I could add later on, really. Alright. Well, alright, so I could do that for the details, I'm not sure. But the puzzle is working, as I've said now, so, and that's the script itself. I'm happy with it. Now I can close that. Now we just need to figure out what to do next. I'm not exactly sure, but at least these are done, so I can just close those. I think this whole map could even be considered done at this moment. So I'm not sure, maybe. Like, this map is of course just a test map. I'm not sure if this is going to be the map that I'm going to be using for this puzzle, but I might, since there's so much in it. I don't want to move it to somewhere else. However, I could just build the actual level around this, so I just add some details around it and use it, rename it and stuff. I use it. That would probably be a bit more, a bit easier. So I guess that could be it for the scripting of this puzzle. So I guess I could just close that, but I will need to figure out what to do for the next video. So I guess I could just keep this a short episode and cut it off here, and I can figure out what to do for the next one, and then we can start working on that. Because I mean, I have some ideas, but I haven't planned them out to the detail that I need in order to just start off with them. I'll be needing some models and stuff like that, so I'll be needing to do some work on this side. But I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do one more video at least on modeling, so that I can just show you some of the techniques that I use for modeling. Although I'm gonna warn you, I'm not a good modeler, so all of these are very primitive models, very simple. So and now I'm awful at texturing. So if you, but maybe I can do something that helps you understand how to model a bit. At least I'll be trying to do at least one more video on modeling itself. Other than that, I'm not sure how far into the story itself we've come with this progress, but let's say like 15% maybe, something like that. 15% done, or 15, 20, something like that. There's still a long way to go. Still have a lot of models, a lot of details, a lot of scripting for puzzles, and just setting it up and complete the story and add the voice acting and everything like that. So there's going to be a lot of work. Yeah, just a lot of planning, a lot of work, yeah. And I might not even get this done in the next few months even, because how long is it since I started this? Like 2 months? Did I start this 2 months ago, or 1.5 or something like that? So it's been a while. So I don't know how more I'm gonna spend, but it might take all the way to summer until I'm done. I'm not sure. I would like to get it done by summer, but oh well. I'm starting to just small talk here, so let's just cut it there, and in the next video I'll find something to do, something to work on, because right now I've been completely focusing on this puzzle and get it done, and I just got it done, so I just wanted to finish up this video. And for the next one, we can find something else to do. If you have any suggestions for things that I can add, for example, the little details like the stick areas, the lights, indicators, or anything else related to the story or whatever you need, post a comment and I will read it. Yeah, of course, if you come with a good idea, and I'll implement it, and I'll put your name in the description, the story, stuff like that. So yeah, that would be it. I will end the episode here. If you found it entertaining, I would really appreciate a like. At least this script. Yeah, you know, it was difficult for me. But anyways, I'll thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.